Today on Bridge City News, Hurricane Dorian is expected to make landfall in Nova Scotia late tonight with torrential rains. Emergency officials are calling for voluntary evacuations. Across the prairies, it's no hurricane, but a rainy forecast looks like it will further delay harvesting for farmers already behind. And Lethbridge got the chance to check out some Japanese anime today.
Your nation, your province, your southern Alberta. From the heart of Lethbridge, it's Bridge City News with Paul Arthur.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Hurricane Dorian is expected to make landfall in Nova Scotia late tonight, unleashing a barrage of torrential rain along the Atlantic coast. The Canadian Hurricane Centre says hurricane warnings remain in effect for much of mainland Nova Scotia and Cape Breton. Tropical storm warnings have been issued for PEI, southeastern New Brunswick, and western Newfoundland. Emergency officials in the Halifax region are calling for voluntary evacuations.
We would recommend that they self-evacuate if they have nowhere else to go, but we are really concerned, like I said, with the waves coming up and the storm surge that we are expecting. The good news about this storm, although I said 10 to 12 meter waves, it is coming in at low tide, and should that shift at all and it comes in at high tide, then we can expect, much bigger and worsening conditions along the coast. The biggest thing is what we call flying object debris. So people who have unsecured things in their home, I saw a basketball net still there on my way to work this morning, when I moved personally. Stuff is going to blow pretty quick. So flower pots, like I said, umbrellas, patio furniture, kids' toys left out. I have a video of in a country I was in once, and those hobby horses on a stick, and I saw one of those fly through a window, and all that was left was the horse head sticking out on the other side. It was like an impaler. So people need to understand in Category 1 force winds, those objects can become very dangerous. So again, I stress that the loose debris that's laying around, the construction materials, a ladder, things that are going to go flying pretty quickly in 140, 150 kilometer-hour winds.
It's critical, actually, that folks take no chances, hunker down, listen to your messaging, be prepared, keep yourself safe, keep your family safe.
And almost a week after Hurricane Dorian came ashore as a Category 5 storm, Bahamians are in desperate need of food, water, and other supplies. The death toll currently stands at 43, but is almost certain to rise as crews comb through the rubble of destroyed homes searching for victims and survivors. U.S. search and rescue teams have arrived to provide help, while Canada has also sent over a Hercules aircraft and a team to assist with supply drops. Widespread rain is forecast across much of the prairies over the next few days, which could put a halt to harvest. The Alberta harvest is only 8% complete, which is behind the 5-year average of 14%. Saskatchewan is even further behind with 11% of the crop in the bin, less than half the usual percentage. And Manitoba is also delayed with 38% of the harvest complete compared to the 3-year average of 51%. 25 to 50 millimeters of rain is possible across Western Canada over the next week. Fans of Japanese anime in Lethbridge headed out to Exhibition Park today for the Bunka Hashi Festival. Here's an explanation of what that means.
So bunka means cultural in Japanese, and hashi means bridge. So it's like a cultural bridge. We want to bring other things together. It is an anime convention, but we also wanted to bring in traditional Japanese components as well.
We have artists, we have people selling everything from cosplay to steampunk to plushies to Funkos. We have all of that. Plus, we have a maid cafe run by Cosplay out of Calgary. And then we also have, of course, at our main stage, a variety of panels and dance groups and all of that appearing today. We also have a games corner set up. They have tons of board games. There's also VR. There's a couple different video game developers in there, as well as a local nonprofit, which is the Game Developer Society of Lethbridge. And we have a Matsuri corner set up as well.
There will also be an outdoor anime movie showing at Nikayuko Gardens starting at 8:30 tonight. Lethbridge's Reuse Rendezvous is taking place this weekend. The event runs every spring and fall, giving residents the opportunity to place unwanted items in front of their property, marked free, for others to pick up and make use of them. It has proved to be popular with lots of good finds. If you want to find out where to browse, check the map at environmentlethbridge.ca. And a reminder, any remaining items need to be cleaned up by the owners on Sunday evening. Speaking of reusing items, a somewhat similar event, the third annual Great Canadian Garage Sale, had bargain hunters shopping for deals at Exhibition Park.
Great Canadian Garage Sale is a place where we rent people a 100 square foot area and they can have their garage sale there. People that normally wouldn't have a garage sale, maybe they live in a particular area of town, they don't feel comfortable having a garage sale, or they're worried about privacy, or especially in Lethbridge, weather, it could be windy one day, you can't plan ahead. You don't have to put up signs. You don't have to go and take them down later. You don't have to advertise. You just come, set up. We bring in all the people, 2,000 to 3,000 people come through the event and buy your stuff, and you don't have to take much home. And you can donate to the Salvation Army at the end of the sale, or they prefer actually if you take it to their store, later in the week. But we also support, part of the door fee goes to the Interfaith Food Bank and the Lethbridge Food Bank as well.
The event also featured some entertainment, including the Chinook High School Band. Organizers are considering expanding the concept to other cities in Alberta next year. With less than a week to go, a Main Street research poll suggests the Progressive Conservatives are leading the Manitoba election. The survey had the Tories at 43% support among decided and leaning voters, compared to 34% for the NDP, 15% for the Liberals, and 6% for the Greens. Main Street surveyed 797 Manitoba adults on September 3rd and 4th via automated telephone interviews on both landlines and cell phones. The U.S. is pushing for a new trade deal with the U.K., but it won't be possible until Britain, one way or another, moves out of the EU trading bloc.
Britain hasn't even divorced the European Union yet, and already the United States is knocking on the trade deal door.
The United States is ready, willing, and able to immediately negotiate a free trade agreement with the UK.
Fantastic.
Pence was carrying a message to Prime Minister Boris Johnson from his boss, President Donald Trump, that the United States was eager to reach a new trade pact with the UK.
The challenge is that a special relationship doesn't necessarily mean a special deal. And so the question on the British side is whether they're going to be prepared to make the concessions that Donald Trump is likely to demand.
Johnson is keen to reach a deal.
It is still the case that, the United States of America, the people of the United States of America, do not eat any British lamb or beef or haggis.
Even before Britain can reach for new trade with America, London will have to negotiate a divorce with the 28-country EU trading bloc or crash out of the bloc without a deal. But despite what Trump says...
How fast do you think you'll be able to make the trade deal? Pretty quickly. We don't anticipate any problems.
Building a new US-UK trading relationship atop the wreckage of Brexit won't be easy for either side.
Boris Johnson has to walk a very fine line. On one hand, he needs Donald Trump to be able to show that the UK still has close friends and allies. On the other hand, Donald Trump is extremely unpopular in the UK, and Boris Johnson has to make sure that he's not looking like Trump's poodle.
Even Trump doesn't have the final say on trade deals in the US.
The administration has the ability to negotiate a trade agreement, but it then needs to be ratified by Congress.
Trade between Britain and its one-time colonial possession is already brisk, suggesting that the potential for bigger economic gains in either country might be slim. Tracy Brown, Associated Press.
Ukraine's president says an exchange of prisoners with Russia is a step toward improving relations between the two countries. Volodymyr Zelensky greeted 35 freed Ukrainian prisoners as they landed in Kiev. Ukraine freed 35 prisoners who flew to Moscow. It's hoped that the process could lead to the end of fighting in the Ukraine's east that has killed 13,000 people. Iran says time is running out to save the 2015 nuclear deal. The country's atomic energy spokesman says Iran now has the ability to go beyond 20% enrichment of uranium. Experts say that's only a short technical step away from 90% enrichment, which is weapons-grade level. Iran already has gone beyond the stockpile and enrichment level limits set by the deal and announced today that Tehran is further breaching the agreement by injecting uranium gas into advanced centrifuges. Recapping one of our top stories this hour, Hurricane Dorian is expected to make landfall in Nova Scotia late tonight. Emergency officials in the Halifax region are calling for voluntary evacuations. And a look at weekend weather. A few clouds overnight with fog patches developing and a low of 8. For tomorrow, a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 20 degrees. With the increase in mass shootings, there are calls for tighter gun controls in Canada. But is that necessarily the answer? Hal Roberts had the opportunity to chat with Senator Bill Plett about this. That interview is coming right up. But first, here's a look at what's happening in and around your community.
Here's your Bridge City News Community Calendar. Are you going through divorce or separation? Find support and encouragement with Divorce Care, a support group that will be meeting weekly beginning Tuesday, September 10th at City Light Church from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Cost is $30 for the workbook. For more information, visit divorcecare.org or call John and Sandy Dick at 403-892-7046. It's the 39th annual Lethbridge Terry Fox Community Run, taking place Sunday, September 15th at the Civic Center track, featuring special guest Fred Fox. Registration begins at 11 a.m. with the run at noon. No entry fee is required. Participants are welcome to walk, run, rollerblade, and cycle. For more information, email lethbridgeterryfoxrun@gmail.com or register online at terryfox.ca. And that's your Bridge City News Community Calendar.